Hi guys, Braden with Fisherman's Source here today doing a little fluke filleting video. Today I'm going to be using the Dexter Russell 2333 9-inch model. It's their rosewood handle, high carbon steel knife. It is not a stainless steel knife. It is my favorite knife for cutting fluke, flounder, sea bass, blackfish, anything that doesn't have super heavy rib cage in it. And it's a very flexible knife. I really like the way it, you kind of work around the bones with it, as well as it's also my favorite skinning knife for just about everything. In a minute here, we're gonna go kind of an over the top shot so you can get a little better angle on it. This is not gonna be a speed video. This is just gonna be clean and kind of the best way to get the most meat out of a fish. All right, guys, a couple things. Number one, we're in the Fisherman's Source break room, which is the only reason I'm cutting on cardboard as opposed to, fillet table or anything outside. And lastly, we're here in New Jersey where we have an 18-inch minimum size limit. So just before we go any further, we're just gonna go ahead and demonstrate that this fish is in fact a legal fish. All right, here we go. All right, guys, when I cut a fluke, or that's what we're referring to them here in New Jersey, summer flounder, things of that nature, I'm gonna come in on the white side first. It's just the way I prefer to go. I'm gonna come in right behind the pectoral, and I'm gonna come in at a pretty steep angle because this is all meat up here in the head and there's not much down here in the belly. I'm gonna come through. I'm not gonna go deep. I'm gonna stay on this side of the backbone. I'm gonna rotate my knife and I'm gonna run just down the inside of the backbone. I'm gonna slice out. I'm gonna come down, staying just on the other side, and I'm gonna cut out in one motion. I'm gonna lift the fish and I'm gonna come just down. It's hard to tell, but there's a ridge right here. I'm gonna come just down the opposite side of that ridge. And then I'm actually gonna lay the meat back down and work the fillet off of the fish this way, just keeping those bones down just like that. So we bring a nice boneless fillet off. Then I'll rotate it over and do the opposite side real quick. Same thing, I'm gonna angle the cut, high on the head, low on the belly. Then I'm gonna come right down along that backbone ridge, cutting out, coming out by the tail. That's actually an egg sac. Come just back up on the other side. I'm gonna come just over top of that ridge. That's what you're trying to do with your knife there. Work up toward the head. Then same thing, lay that fish back down flat again and just work against those bones. Sticking a little bit to my cardboard here. And I actually popped a few pin bones, which is fine. Something that'll happen as you cut, unfortunately, sometimes, like just happened here, my knife went a little bit deep and I actually took in one of the fin edges right here. All I'm gonna do is come in with my knife, push out. I didn't lose any meat and I got those bones out of there. All right, when it comes time to skinning, personal preference, but I actually prefer to take the fin edges off. I find it just easier to skin that way. I'm gonna come around, I'm gonna take the edge off on the opposite side. Get rid of that little piece of liver. And then I'm gonna skin from the tail going forward. I'll come just in through the meat, staying between the meat and the skin. I'm just gonna work nice, slow strokes with my knife. Notice I did not cut the rib cage of this fish yet. I prefer to do that after I get it skinned out. It's personal preference, but it works well for me. Gonna roll that fillet over, and then I come in just above where the backbone was, just above the vertical line. And then I'm gonna come in just behind the last rib, cut down that way, and then I'm just gonna check for pin bone right here, make one tiny little cut. And there is actually your dark side, your nice boneless fillet right there. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the white side. I'm gonna come in, gonna cut that ribbon off, cut that fin edge off. That meat will fall off of the fillet if you don't cut it off, which is fine, but it tends not to stay attached, particularly if you're gonna go to cook it. Or I actually personally really like these for sashimi. I will fillet the skin off those and actually eat those raw. And then we're gonna fillet it out, or sorry, we're gonna skin it out in just the same manner that we did. tail to the head. Once again, I'm not removing the rib bones until after I get the skin off the fillet. I'm going to come right in above the lateral line, come right behind that last rib, cut off, and then once again, just barely take that out. Peel the rest of that fin edge off. You see right here, this is a little bit what we call silver skin. It's actually kind of the interior part of the skin. I don't mind that at all. I don't find that it hurts the flavor at all. I, in fact, eat that. There's no scale, there's no anything right there, and it'll loosen right up during cooking. So there we have it. We have our 2 boneless, skinless fluke fillets. Once again, that's the Dexter Russell 2333-9. It's the 9-inch rose handle. Still US made. I really like this knife. Any questions? You can reach out at any time. Thank you very much.